as an instrument. That at the end of this program, oh Lord, we will get godly relationships that will lead into godly marriage. Because this is your will for us, this is your mandate for man. I pray that you speak through me, Lord, and you release the message which you want to give to your children. Building a good, please emphasis on the good and lasting. Building a good and lasting relationship.
Building a good and lasting relationship.
Alright. First of all, I want to debunk a myth. I want to debunk a misconception that we have in our society. You know, whenever you make mention of relationship, there is this negative air attached to it, right? People have this negative notion of relationship that if you're a Christian girl or you're a Christian boy, you should stay away from relationship. But I'm here to tell you that there is nothing evil or ungodly about being in a relationship. There's nothing godly and evil about that. There's nothing ungodly and evil about that. In fact, it is God's purpose for us. Because in Genesis chapter 2, verse 18 to 24, if you read for economy of time, please, I won't be able to be reading it, but I'll drop the verses for you so you can read later in your quiet time. In Genesis chapter 2, verse 18 to 24, after God had created man and all the animals, he looked and he saw that the man was alone, right? And then he said, it is not good that the man should be alone. And he thought of what to do. He then created a woman out of the man's rib. Now, when this man, Adam, woke up from sleep, he saw the woman beside him and he exclaimed, alas, this is the bone of my bone, the flesh of my flesh. And the Bible then goes on further to tell us that. And for this reason, a man would leave his family, his father and mother, and join to a woman, and the two will become one. So my brothers and sisters, if you ponder deeply on this part of the Bible, you will see that it is God's purpose for us to be in a relationship, right? The relationship between the man and the woman. However, because of the world we live in, many people go about this relationship in the wrong way. It is not wrong for you to be in a relationship, but then it is wrong for you to be in an ungodly relationship. Hence the topic, building a good and lasting relationship. And if you would agree with me, nothing good comes from the world, right? Nothing good comes from the devil. Nothing good comes from being secular. Everything good comes from God. And he has the key to everything. He has the key to make everything good and everything last. Therefore, I'll be sharing with us some godly principles. Some principles that will enable us to have that good and lasting relationship. Because it is the will of God for us all to find the bone of our bone and the flesh of our flesh. It is the will of God because he gave man a mandate. He gave man a mandate in Genesis 1:28 where he says, go into the world and do what? Multiply. Now, can you multiply by saying on your own? So you need to find that bone of your bone and that flesh of your flesh, and then build that good and lasting relationship with this person. So, to begin with, to build a good and lasting relationship, we need to know that this relationship should have a foundation. Can you build a house without a foundation? So we need to have a strong foundation. And what better foundation can you have apart from Christ, apart from God? Since it is his will for us to be in this relationship, he wants us to find our companion, to find our helpmates. Now, he should be the one and only foundation for every relationship. Now, so for the first principle, since we know that God is our foundation to building a good and lasting relationship, the first principle I will be sharing with you on how to build such relationship is to first of all seek the will of God. Now, we know it is common for most of us to just wake up one morning and then we decide I want to go into a relationship. And you expect such relationship to work. There is no magic there. Like there is no two ways about it. You don't just wake up one morning and decide that, okay, I choose John, or I choose Joseph, or I choose Mary. I want to have a relationship with her, a relationship that will lead to marriage, or just for fun. It won't work. First of all, when you know you are ready, you need to seek the will of God. You need to seek the face of God. Now, let me tell you something. When I met my husband, when we started being serious about getting married, he told me that at that point in time, before he had met me, he had embarked on a 7 days dry fasting and prayer. He had been praying because he knew that he was ready to get married. He knew that he was ready to settle. But he doesn't have that partner that gives him peace of mind. That's bone of his bone or the flesh of his flesh. So he had to go and seek the face of God. And it was after this prayer that I came passing by. And also, coincidentally also, it was at this point that I had also said, oh, I know I'm ready, but if only God would send the right man. If only God would send the right man my way, then I would consider this. And then I started to pray. Because the men around, like the friends I was seeing, the guys I was seeing, they were nothing close to what I wanted. Because I wanted that godly relationship that would lead to that godly marriage. And then I started to pray. And thank God for who He is. This is where we are. So just imagine we hadn't sought the face of God or the will of God. Who knows? Maybe we would have been married to the wrong person, or then being in an ungodly marriage that, which you know, that is the reason for many divorces in our societies now, right? Because a man and a woman, they just stand up and say, okay, you're beautiful, you're rich, okay, I feel like, okay, I like you, I do this, then the next thing, after 6 months, you see them getting married without following these godly principles. So the first principle is to seek the will of God. Now the second principle I will be sharing is for you to have a purpose. Do you just wake up early in the morning and then you take your bath, you dress up, and you start going out to the street like just walking aimlessly or purposelessly? You know, it's only a madman that does that. I believe every one of us here, when we wake up in the morning, we take our bath, we dress up, we have a place in mind, we have a destination, or we have things that we want to achieve. And those things that we have in mind will lead us, will guide us into going to the right place and into taking the right actions. That is the same way. If you want to build a good and lasting relationship, you need to have a purpose. Now, for some people, they see relationship as a means of financial liberation. There are so many girls that just see a rich man and then they jump into that, okay, he's rich, so that's all that matters. You know, it's the liberation, you know, the confidence that at least you'll be able to take care of me and my family. Now, if you go into a relationship with that mindset, that relationship is headed for doom. And you think it will work. Magic. There is no magic. There is no miracle. So you need to know your purpose, identify your purpose, and also look for a partner whose purpose is compatible with yours. And you're on the way to building a good and lasting relationship. Now, for my third principle is maturity and readiness. See, anybody that tells you that being in a relationship that will lead to marriage, of course, because that is the will of God for us, you is bound to be conflict, there's bound to be disagreement. But then, Ephesians 4, verse 32 tells us to be kind and compassionate to one another and to forgive one another just as Christ forgives us.